welcome to our second episode of Rec on Record, bringing you the latest and greatest from the City of Fort Collins Recreation Department and the Fort Collins Senior Center. We really appreciate you coming today. You can either come to our live studio audience or you can catch us on FCTV once a month, and it'll be replaying on FCTV quite often. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to fill out our comment cards that we have, and we'll try to assess them at the end of the show. Now, let's get this show started and bring on down the man of the hour, Mr. Jason Chaddock.
Thank you everyone for being here, and welcome to our second episode of Rec on Record. We're really excited you could all be here today. As Ashley said, one of the great features to this show is you can watch it online through our website. You can also watch it through FCTV as it revolves, playing again and again throughout the course of the month. So those are some of the great features we really like to this show. I got to share something really funny with you guys before we get started. I mentioned in the last episode of this show that we were excited, my family was, to move back here to Colorado and be able to head to the mountains and get snow. So my 9-year-old son took my phone last night and started looking up the weather forecast and saw that there's snow in the forecast for tonight. So now he automatically thinks it's going to snow and we're heading up to the mountains instantly to get snowboarding going. So we're really excited to be back here for that. Can't wait to get up to the mountains and get things going again. But now on to the important stuff. I want to talk to you a little bit about Rec on Record and what it is and why we're doing it. Just to kind of fill you guys in on some things. One of the big things we wanted to do was figure out an avenue in which we could host community outreach and be able to get our message out to the community about the things we're working on, the things we're providing to our community, services, activities, events, and so on. And this was an avenue that we just felt was perfect for us because as it got brought up to me in the senior advisory board meeting earlier this week last week we had a situation in which we had someone ask, well, I have several friends that can't make it here and they want to learn about what's going on. So one of the beautiful things to that is they can actually watch on TV or they can get onto a computer and watch online. So they don't have to actually get in here. That's the beauty to this show right now. It gives us an opportunity to still get out to those people who are not in here. But certainly we appreciate having people here in our audience. Definitely welcome everyone in and hope to get people consistently here episode after episode. We're going to highlight upcoming events and activities and be able to talk to you guys about some of the future programming we have going on. And then another big part for us is to be able to discuss some of the hot topics and important items going on, not just here at the Senior Center, but in our other recreation facilities, and then also within the city as a whole. So those are some important things that we want to discuss and be able to go through with you guys. And then lastly, a big part to this show that I think is the key is getting a chance to meet all the staff. We have quite a few staff members over here today. During the course of each episode, we're going to have a staff highlight and then also an interview segment called the Fort Report that we're going to go through and be able to highlight what they're working on, things that are going on within recreation and within the city as a whole. So great opportunity for us to really learn about what's going on. Now as we fast forward, I want to talk about some of our facility safety measures that have been going on throughout the course of the last several months, but more implementation here in the last month. Some of the things that you won't notice are we have actually worked together with our safety committee here in recreation and with safety, security, risk management within the city of Fort Collins to work on newly revised emergency action plans. So one of the things that does for us is it helps make sure that we have the latest protocols that are best practices, not just here, but obviously throughout the country, and be able to make sure that we're giving our staff the best that we can as far as knowledge and information and be able to handle safety protocols appropriately and be able to tend to our guests the best that we can. Another neat tool that we have is located at our front desk, and then in some other maintenance areas, we have our flip books. Our flip books are basically a condensed version of the emergency action plans. And what that allows staff to do is be able to grab the flip book in the case of an emergency, and they can actually resort to exactly what's in that flip book, which is a very short segment of information that helps them more quickly handle the situation without obviously reading through a very long manual. So that's just one of the neat little tools that we've been able to provide. Lastly, I want to talk a little bit about securing the facility. That's one of the things that we've worked on through the course of the last several months, is engaging with the community and talking about some of the different aspects of safety, and then also trying to navigate all of our traffic here through the main doors of the facility and through the front desk area. So that's one of the things that we've really been working hard on. And I can tell you our front desk has had a lot of good feedback on that, saying it's now given them a better chance to engage with some of the guests that they don't always get to see. And it's allowed them to be able to learn more about not only our guests coming in, but be able to learn their names and greet them when they're coming into the facility. So those are just some of the neat highlights to that aspect. And obviously we have the safety aspect of being able to channel through the front desk area, and we have a better tracking of who's in our building and registered for programs and so on and so forth. Another thing I want to talk about is as we get into further safety measures, we've also been working on facility rounds. So what we do is we do staff checks throughout the course of the day, whether it's us full-time staff, front desk staff, or our maintenance staff has been doing checks of the facility, and that's really helped us to engage further in what we're doing here operationally and providing a safer environment for everyone here. I'm kind of fast forwarding with safety. You'll notice on the screen we have our plow trucks here shown on the screen. I want everyone to know some of this information. You're looking and thinking, what does this mean? We are a Tier 1 snow removal site, which for us means we're first on the priority list. So when we have that inclement weather coming in, we are the first on Parks registered list. So they're coming to our facility first to clear our parking lots and to have safe walkways for our guests that are coming into the facility. So for us, that's a really big deal. And we're very prideful in that. And it's just one of those ways that we're really working on having a world-class facility here at the Senior Center. And also, one of the interesting things we have that some people know, some people are learning about now, is our front entryway, where the concrete in the drive-through is actually heated. So it helps to de-ice in the winter, and it helps to have clear walkways. So that way we have a little bit safer of a drop-off area when you're entering our facility. So just some of the neat features that we have. And then another thing I want to talk about is our transport route. We all know Route 7 has relocated, and we have obviously stops at Shields and stops on Raintree. And one of the things that I think is so important to this is being able to map out with Parks and with Transport is to figure out what are our plowing areas. So that's one of the reasons we're talking about this in safety. I wanted to illustrate some of the maps that we have. And one of the things that I want to talk about is, if you look on this has our sidewalk pathways in red. And what you'll see here is, as we come down to the very end, this is where our parking lot ends and the Jimmy John's area begins. And from here up to here is kind of the one pathway that we have actually talked about, where that's the business area. And so we're going to work with Transport and with Parks and with the business area to figure out that about 60-yard radius where we have to be on that. And for us, that's really important, because essentially that clears the walkways through the bus drop-off areas and gives a safe mode of travel to our facility, even though the drop-off is no longer in the front entryway. And then with that, I do want to talk a little bit about Dial-A-Ride. And one of the important features with Dial-A-Ride is it affords us an opportunity to be able to have a door-to-door pickup. And this is through Transport. You can fill out an application, and it gives you the opportunity then to be able to get that, not only that door-to-door pickup, but they also have an eligibility packet. So you do have to apply. I want to make that clear. And they have 3 different modes that you go through, whether it's unconditional. So the unconditional is a person cannot use the fixed route system at any time. We also have a conditional, where there are certain things that take place, such as inclement weather, where this is the best mode of transportation for someone. And then obviously a temporary service. So you can apply for this and get granted through Dial-A-Ride. And the important thing is you can also extend out and get free vouchers for up to a $20 ride. So, and what we've learned is that covers, for the most part, anything within the city of Fort Collins. So that's really important for everyone to know, and it's a great feature that we have through Transport. So I highly encourage everyone to be able to engage in that if they know someone that needs that extra help with Transport. And then we do have some information at the front desk that you can get on that as well. So another great feature that we have here. And then as we went through, we'll skip ahead of the maps. I apologize, I went out of order there. And then as we go, I want to talk about Club Tico a little bit. Club Tico is going to be shutting down for renovations as we head into January of 2017. And we're really excited about this project because one of the things we get to do is be able to revamp the facility a little bit. So we're not changing anything in the dance floor and stage area. It's going to be more in the back section. And what we're going to do is develop a catering kitchen. So that's a really big, exciting experience for us. We're going to get some other kitchen equipment in there for catering services. We're going to also be remodeling and expanding the existing restrooms. So this is a great thing for us to do. The facility is obviously aged, and it's a great chance for us to get it more up to par for our services that we're offering now. So bigger restrooms, expanded, remodeled. And then lastly, one of the important things for this particular facility is actually having dedicated storage areas. Right now we kind of have curtains pulled across, and we're separating via curtains in other office areas. So right now we're going to actually establish storage areas. So that's a really big venture for us on that. And then one of the other things that you probably won't see that's behind the wall, so to speak, is they're going to enhance the plumbing and electrical for the facility. So that's another great opportunity for us to improve our facility just a little bit more. And then lastly, with the senior center, one of the things we're going to be doing starting in December, or I should say at the end of November heading into December, is going to be replacing the current acoustical panels. So you're going to actually see a big change in there, and we'll have half of the gym shut down at a time as we go through this. And it's going to be a great project for us because we're going to get all new acoustical panels throughout the gym area. And then the style of panels that we are receiving this time afford us the ability to repaint them every couple years. So that way, instead of going out buying new materials, so on and so forth, we're actually going to get to refresh them by painting them. So it's a really good opportunity for us to have a product that will last for a long time and then be able to refresh it throughout the years. But with that, obviously we have a lot going on here. There's great opportunities for growth and expansion for us as we go programming-wise. We're doing some great facility maintenance things. And we're just really excited about what the future holds for us. So with that, Ashley, I'm going to pass it back to you so you can get us kicked off to our next segment.
All right. Thank you so much, Jason, for that manager's message. And now we're going to move on to the next segment. It's our facility update with our supervisor, Katie Stieber.
I do want to call you back up here for a second. I just can't resist. You got to come up. So I just want to let you know that this is very common that this young gentleman next to me tends to dress like me. I think it's edifying my experience and my, well, whatever. I'm a little bit older, so yeah, anyway. Okay, you can go. Thanks, everybody, for being here, especially the staff. It's really important that we also have a lot of staff on here, hand here from the Recreation Department. It means a lot. Thank you to the seniors that have come on down and to some of our users that are watching this here live today. What is very important, not only with this new exciting program that we're doing here today, is making sure that we're reaching you. We are in an ever-changing, I cannot keep up. I don't know about you, but we talk about social media on here. Yeah, we're on social media. We are on Facebook. We're on every imaginable social media. Follow us that way, please. Also, we still do create a paper Recreator magazine. You can still pick up that magazine and look at our programming. What's really cool, though, is we have the support of our communication staff that have taken this tool well beyond that paper product, and you can jump online and see the Recreator magazine. It includes all of our recreation programs and specifically everything going on here at the Senior Center. What's really, really neat is that you can look around in that program, and there's a searchable feature. It's really easy to use. I'm hearing from many seniors that it's actually easier to use than the paper copy, since you can search for what you're looking for. So make sure you get that. It is mailed out to all members. Also, the Senior Center e-newsletter, that does come out monthly, so make sure if you are not signed up that you either call us, jump online to the Senior Center page itself and sign up. It's really easy. Just put your email address in there. That will come to your email address. We won't sell it to anybody and try to sell you products, but make sure you check that out. So, social membership, what is that? So when you walk in, there's a whole lot of ways to kind of access our services. This one is really cool, and it is very affordable. So if you are anybody who is 50 and older, it's $25 for the entire year. That is a pretty manageable fee. That will give you access to all of these things that you are reading up there. I would really encourage somebody to come on in. We offer new member orientations. You don't have to be a member, but we will take people on a tour. We will talk to you about your specific needs, what you're looking for in a senior center, be it fitness or clubs or arts and crafts programs. We'll walk you through that and let you know what we offer. What's really neat, I want to make sure that you see that early registration. We just had registration on Tuesday for members only. This past Tuesday, yes. We had 231 members walk in the door and take advantage of that service, and they made sure that they got into their various fitness classes or trips, everything that's the latest and the greatest. They made it in, and because I'm hearing that a lot of our things do book out and oversell. So make sure that you take advantage of that early registration. And again, please come on in and we'll walk you through what that social membership is. Ashley's going to touch on it a little bit later as well and tell you about some of the benefits.
All right, I'm going to have Jamie come up here and help me with my slides, because speaking of social memberships, who do you think's in charge of most of those fun things that we do around here? It's me. Okay, so my name's Ashley Rufer. I'm in charge of social programs, adult dance, and special events. I've been having an absolute blast in this position for the last year. I have been with the city for about 5 years, but this is just an incredible opportunity to work here and be involved in such fun things. So first off, we'll talk about some social programs. We have everything here from billiards to writers group. We have weekly cards where we play bridge, pinochle, mahjong. A little bit of a sneak peek into spring. We're actually going to have an introduction to mahjong class, the first one here. So we're really excited about some of the programs that are up and coming. And we're trying to stay up with all of the trends in the senior industry and around recreation. So another one actually I do want to bring up for social programs is Don't It Make You Wonder? It's an amazing group of people that meet weekly on Fridays. They talk about current events and news, and there's about 30 people that meet, and obviously it's called Donut Make You Wonder because they have coffee and donuts on a weekly basis. So that's also included in your social membership if you choose to be a part of that. Now we'll move on to adult dance. This picture up on the screen is actually from our line dance extravaganza that we just had in September. We had 76 dancers who danced for 4 hours. Yes, you heard it. 4 hours nonstop with a catered lunch. It was so much fun. This is a yearly celebration that we have. Just a great group of people. So along with line dancing, we also have tons of other adult dance programs. We have ballet, we have West Coast swing, we have belly dancing. You name it, you can find it in the Recreator. So one little tidbit about our ballet program, the instructor has been teaching here for almost 30 years. So you know it's a good program when that teacher is still demanded every single season, and she is doing just an amazing job. So now we'll move on to some special events. I did want to kind of recap on some of the, I'm going to put my cards down. Recap on some of the great events that we've had just recently. Veterans Day is one that's very near and dear to a lot of people's hearts. It was just last Friday, and I am pleased to say that we fed over 375 veterans and their families. It was heartbreaking. It was amazing. People were just raving about it. And we couldn't have done that without the help of the Kiwanis Golden Cake. They're our main sponsor for that. But yeah, that's every year on Veterans Day. If you didn't get a chance to come this year, please always remember that we're here. It's a wonderful breakfast with a great program. Next up, which is actually next week, it's after Thanksgiving, the 25th and the 26th is our annual Holiday Artisan Market. It's free to attend, so please just come on down and at least check it out. We have over 120 vendors from all over Colorado. We have Nebraska. We have people from Wyoming. It's really quite incredible, and we take over the entire senior center, so it's really fun to be able to kind of go into all the different rooms and see everybody's local talents, anything from pottery to knitting and crafting and just some really cool creative things. So I encourage you to come to that. One of our amazingly adored performances that we have twice a year is from our slightly older adult players group, or we call them Soap Troop. And tickets are only $5, and if you come, I guarantee you will laugh, you will sing along. It's just a great show. This year they're doing Moments in Time, A Blast for the Past. and they're concentrating on the 1950s. So it's going to be really fun. They have 3 shows. They actually have, it's Friday, December 2nd at 1:30, and then again at 7 o'clock, and then they have a matinee show on Saturday at 2 o'clock. And like I said, tickets are actually on sale now, only $5, and it's just a really fun thing to do for the holidays. Okay, this is a very, very important event that we put on yearly. It's our annual membership meeting. And so like Katie was talking about the membership programs, if you are a social member of the Fort Collins Senior Center, we invite you to come to this annual membership meeting. It's a free brunch, and you get to find out about all the wonderful things that we accomplished and that we're looking forward to for the future of the Fort Collins Senior Center. And it's just a really fun time. We usually get about 300 to 400 to 500 people, and we just have a really nice brunch with all of our members and staff. Now here's a little bit of a sneak peek to winter 50+ programs. Obviously you can see up on the screen we have historical cafes, virtual learning, we have apps and a movie, which is going to be on Valentine's Day, and that's just going to be a nice little special treat. My favorite that I'm really excited about is the Hysterical Cafe, the punny name. It's going to be a comedy show, and we're going to have a bar and appetizers, and it's just going to be a really fun time. And so if you want to come to that, make sure to sign up, because I'm pretty sure tickets are going to sell out for that. So February 24th, I'm really, really looking forward to that. So I encourage everyone to come. And that's it for me for my programs. I could talk all day, but I'm not going to. I really encourage you to email me with comments, concerns, questions, ideas. I'm really looking for things that the seniors want, that the patrons want. So once again, my email's wide open. It's up there on the screen. Feel free to call me or email me anytime. And I think that's it for me. Okay, I'll go back over to being the MC now. Okay, our next segment is the Fort Report. So I'm going to bring back Jason, and let's introduce our Recreation Director, Mr. Bob Adams.
Bob, it's always a pleasure to get to sit down and chat with you, and this is probably one of the most unique experiences we've had. Some people might not know, but Bob and I have actually known each other for quite a long time. Used to work together in a former life, and one of the interesting things, I've learned many interesting things, but first time in public that we've done this live on air. So no pressure at all. First, I want to start off. I obviously know a lot about your background, as does most of the people here, but I'd like to start off today with, tell us a little bit about how you selected a career in recreation, and just a little bit about your overall background in recreation.
Okay, well, again, many of you know me, but I was born and raised in Greeley, Colorado, and probably what started me in my career was participating in a lot of parks and recreation programs. As a child, as a swimmer, I worked as a lifeguard, did many things like that, and as I got older, into the high school range, I started working in the parks department, and I thought my career was going to go more into parks. So I worked parks for probably about 10 years in the Greeley area, which helped me pay for my college and work full-time with parks. And then as I was going to college, I started dabbing into working more as a lifeguard or doing youth sports and coaching and different things like that. And then so that kind of got me excited about the field. And as I was going to UNC, I decided that recreation was where I really wanted to work. And once I graduated from there, I got a job up in the Breckenridge area, worked for the town of Breckenridge, and had the opportunity to work at a recreation center there. I was there for 4 years, and one of the fun things that I encountered up there was to build projects. I had the opportunity to do an expansion of the town of Breckenridge Recreation Center, as well as build the ice rink that is still up there and operating today. Again, I was there for 4 years. I had the opportunity to move back down to northern Colorado and bring my family to Greeley, Colorado again, and I worked there for 14 years. And again, with that opportunity, one of the things that were unique is I was able to build the family funplex over there, the Greeley Ice House, as well as participate in the Greeley History Museum when they built that facility as well. Again, I had some great opportunities there. And then when this job opened up in Fort Collins, I applied for it about 5 years ago, and I've been here 5 years. Some of the fun things in those 5 years that I've been here, we've been able to expand the senior center, which you guys are fairly aware of. And then we also just recently opened the Foothills Activity Center, 24,000 square foot facility. And so those are some of the fun projects. And then currently I'm working on the Epic lobby and pool renovation, which is about a $4 million project that is going to be hopefully opening here soon at the end of November. So that is pretty much my career in a nutshell.
Bob, thanks for sharing all that. Certainly a lot of great things that you've experienced in your career. Does any one of these projects stand out as a favorite?
Well, you and I have talked about this in the past, but I think they've all been important to me. Again, the fun one that started my career out was the ice rink up in Breckenridge. Again, being your first one, you kind of remember going through the whole process. And then some of the unique ones here at the Senior Center that I think has been unique is when we did do the expansion here at the Senior Center. It was an 18,000 square foot facility, but we remained operational that whole time, which that's a tough thing to do when you have an 18,000 square foot facility and be added on to an existing facility. And as you guys well know, it was different parts of the Senior Center that was being affected, and we were able to, with the great staff here and also the patrons that were here, to be able to continue the programs during that whole process. I think it was about a 9-month process there. So all of them have been unique in their own way.
Definitely, completely understand that. Thanks for sharing all that information. One of the things that I want to take a minute to talk about, obviously, those of us that work here, we see everything that goes on, and certainly out in the forefront and then behind the scenes. But one of the things I'd like you to kind of express from a director standpoint is what have been some of the accomplishments for recreation in 2016?
Okay, and I'm going to have to pull out my little note card just because we have so many accomplishments.
That's okay.
And we'll kind of jump in here. So, for example, again, you guys in the crowd know that the Senior Center accreditation was huge this last year. We received that award this year, and one of the big things there, we had over 75 volunteers that helped out that. It was about a year project that went on, and then we have many staff that also participated in that. One of the unique things with the accreditation is it is a 5-year accreditation, and we are the only Colorado Senior Center that has this accreditation. So I feel that that's a major accomplishment for our city and our Parks and Recreation Department. One of our other ones is our 50th anniversary of the Parks and Recreation. We celebrated that this year, and we were able to, with the staff and John Lytle sitting out here, and he's our communication person, but we did a lot of special events to celebrate our 50th anniversary of Parks and Recreation. One was the 4th of July parade, where we recognized some of our past and current directors, and they were able to participate in the parade, as well as we did a concert at the end of the summer where we had 3 bands come in and play. It was a free event for all the citizens to come and enjoy that activity. And then to wrap up the 50th anniversary, we had Odell's create a beer for us, and provided with the proceeds, ended up providing funds for our Adaptive Recreation Opportunities program, which again, that was a great opportunity for that. And I'm not quite sure if that beer is still down there, but if it is, feel free to go enjoy that. Another big issue for the city is safety. It's one of our organizational priorities, and we've focused on this year is converting our chlorine gas over to liquid chlorine at Mulberry Pool, City Park Pool, as well as Epic. Currently, the City Park Pool and the Mulberry one, they're just starting to take place, and those hopefully will be ready to rock and roll before next summer when we open up for that. Another thing we did with our safety is we implemented the emergency action plans, where Jason's already talked about that, but that was a major accomplishment. And then one of our other accomplishments was pickleball improvements. About a year ago, we were having a lot of issues with the pickleball group. We started meeting with them on a frequent basis. And through those meetings, we've been able to work with the pickleball group, and we've been able to add 4 courts to City Park, which is out at City Park tennis courts. They're under the lights, that's what they requested. And we're doing a pilot program with that right now to see how that goes, to see if that's the right location or if we have to build separate courts. But that is a huge step for the pickleball group. And then what we are doing is a Southeast Community Park that's called Twin Silos right now. And we're going to be putting 4 courts of pickleball courts out there as well. They will not be lit, but it will be 4 courts for the pickleball group. And then we're currently working on doing a request for proposal to work with a private group to do a public-private partnership on running the pickleball leagues, clinics, and tournaments, and that should be happening here within the next 6 months. And then the other one is the big accomplishment is the Foothills Activity Center. Through a private-public partnership, we were able to open up that facility. It's a 24,000 square foot facility that has gymnasium, fitness rooms, child development rooms, and a weight room in there. So that's a huge project. And then the final one, which I've already alluded to, is Epic renovation and lobby area, where the main focus was to, as a safety concern that first came up, where the chloramines were very high, and so we had to address that issue. And so we've replaced the whole pump room. We've also come in and replaced the bulkhead that moves so we can do different lengths of competitive swim events. And we've also replaced some of the tile. During this process, we realized we had a leak in the therapy pool, so we were able to go back to City Council and appropriate another $600,000 to finish that therapy pool. That therapy pool project will not be done when we open at the end of November. However, we'll be focusing on accomplishing that goal within the next 6 to 9 months. And then with that, we'll also be replacing the tile on the pool deck. So, and that's pretty much the major accomplishments for this year.
Bob, that is a lot. Certainly a lot of great things going on. The projects obviously are a great investment because that's putting back into our opportunities for development here in the city. I want to take a step back if we could. You mentioned the Foothills Activity Center opening this year. Could you go back and tell us a little bit about the Foothills Activity Center, but also a little bit more about this partnership? How did it come to be? Because it's obviously a unique situation with it being in the mall.
Right. So we previously we had a youth activity center that was located on the mall site. It was about a 29,000 square foot facility, and part of that facility they had a gymnasium that was added to that facility, and it was raised. The money raised for that gymnasium was from private citizens that donated those funds. And part of the agreement to build the gymnasium was if that was ever to be demolished or moved, that the city would have to replace that gymnasium. I thought the city did a great job because really all we had to do was replace the gymnasium. So during the negotiation, we were able to replace a 24,000 square foot facility, a recreation facility for the entire community inside the mall through the private-public partnership with the Mall Development Group. And again, it was a long process, an interesting process, but we were able to open that facility, and now it's open, and we've been open for about 9 months now.
That's great, Bob. Thanks for sharing that. You also had touched base on the uniqueness of what's going on at Epic. Obviously, Epic getting ready to renovate and have some remodeling going on there. Epic's been about 30-year-old facility.
Yes, it's 30 years.
And we building new facilities, expanding on the senior centers. Walk us through a little bit about Epic. What's been going on there over the last several months?
Again, I probably jumped ahead a little bit already, but again, the big issue is fixing the chloramine issues, our turnover rate, our safety issues with the chlorine gas and the liquid chlorine. And so again, the big issue was really fixing the pump systems and getting the turnover of the water to the proper code requirements to operate a pool of that size so we can take it in for hopefully another 30 years. That's our goal is to be able to do that. Again, during that process, I had an opportunity to meet with Darren Atterbury and the city manager and take a tour of the facility, and I was able to work with our team at Epic and appropriate additional funding to improve the lobby area. So when you do go to the grand opening, we're going to have a grand opening on December 17th. You can come into the facility, see some of the new improved items. We were able to replace the lighting to go to similar lights as this facility with the LED lights to improve efficiencies. So again, you'll walk in, you'll see a new painted lobby area. The front desk has been relocated so we can greet the customers when they walk in the door. If you're familiar with Epic, the front desk used to be over to the right, and many times people would just walk in and go to the skate counter and they'd have to walk back. So now you walk right indoors and you're greeted immediately with the front desk staff. So that's basically the big issue that's going on.
Definitely. Thanks for sharing that. Obviously, between Foothills and between Epic, there's been a lot of great things going on for this city and the expansion of recreational opportunities. One of the things that I want to touch base on is we've talked a lot about what we've done in 2016. It's been obviously a huge year as far as accomplishments. Can you tell us a little bit about what's in store for 2017?
Yep, and I'll have to bring out my note card again. So
that's okay. I'm using them too.
So again, the big thing for 2017 is to continue to focus on the overall city operation priorities. You know, the culture of customer service, the culture of safety. hopefully you guys will continue to see the improvement with customer service. I feel we've taken some great strides. You see the front desk, they're greeting the customers, and then when the people leave, they're also thanking them for being here and hoping they see them back and they get to know everybody's name. I know that's one of the things that we've continued to try to strive for, is get to know everybody's name in the facility. The other thing is the safety component, the culture of safety. As Jason alluded to with our emergency action plans, we put those in place this year. Now the goal is we've created a safety team within the recreation department. How do we start training our staff on all the different things in the safety emergency action plan that we have in place? And so that'll be one of the goals, is training our staff on those type of things so that if something were to happen, they're ready to act immediately. And then the other one with the operational priorities for the city is always looking at continuous improvement. And with that, we have our recreational operational plan that we adopted in 2015. It's 2015 through 2017, so we're in our last year of that operational plan of 2017, and we have accomplished a lot, but we're going to continue to accomplish a lot more within the next year. Our staff has done a great job just in recent months with instituting some action items that are on there with our refund policy that's going to be going in there. You guys will see that in our spring rec radar. We'll have a new refund policy, and different items like that will be coming ahead. We'll be sharing those with you guys as we're moving forward. So that's a big key thing with this. Another thing we're going to be working with is our park and recreation policy plan. So this is parks and recreation. It's a 10-year plan. We're wrapping up the 2008 Parks and Recreation Policy Plan that took us out 10 years. And for example, in that Park and Recreation Policy Plan, it talks about building a Southeast Community Center. And as you guys know, with the Building on Basics that was voted in on April 2015, we will be getting a new community center. Hopefully by 2024, our design will start taking place in 2022, but that was identified in that Park and Recreation Policy Plan. For us to get things approved by City Council and the citizens, we have to first have that strategic plan developed so we can have that roadmap, and citizens and council are fully engaged in that process. So we'll be diving into that process here at the end of 2017. The other thing is we attended a National Park and Recreation conference just last month, and one of our big things that we came out of that is we should be Parks and Recreation accredited, which is called CAPRA. And we're going to be rolling this out probably in January with our Parks and Recreation department as a whole, and we have a 2-year time frame to get that done. We'll have to apply for it, so we'll be applying for it and then going through the process. But since we went through the Senior Center accreditation, it's going to really help us out, because a lot of the stuff that's in the Parks and Recreation one, we've already done a lot of that legwork. So, but it's very important for us to have our Parks and Recreation department doing best practices. That's what that accreditation is all about, is are we doing the best practices, and are we providing that for our citizens? So that's what we'll be working on. And then just some upcoming projects, and again, Jason alluded to many of these. The Club Tico project, which was also a Building on Basics tax initiative, that'll be taking place here in January to do those renovations. And the other one you may not be aware of is the City Park Train at City Park. That was also funded in that same tax initiative. So we'll be working with park planning on doing some improvement at City Park, which includes that City Park Train. So look for more information on that. And then the far one that's down the road is the Southeast Community Center. And we'll be working on that. Where is it located? At this time, we have not landed on an exact location. So next year we'll be focusing on where is the exact location where that Southeast Community Center is going to go. So that's pretty much what we're planning on doing in 2017.
I'm tired. I need some vacation now. We obviously have a lot going on coming up in the next calendar year. Bob, I want to take one more step forward now. And we created Rec on Record for an outreach to the community and a way for us to kind of talk about what we have going on. Now, I've been seeing this picture up here on the screen going all over our rec center for the last couple months. We have a coffee with Bob. And I got to tell you guys a secret. It's not coffee in his cup, it's tea. So, Bob, can you tell us about Coffee with Bob? What is it? How did it get started? And what made you pick that platform?
Well, we started Coffee with Bob a couple years ago, and it seemed to work out fairly well, and then I kind of let it go, and I'd meet with the seniors to basically hear what they had to say. What are some things going on here at the senior center? It's not just the senior center, and it's open for anybody in our recreation department, any citizen, staff, whoever wants to come talk to us on any type of issues. It could be positive, it could be negative, it could be suggestions, whatever you guys want to come talk about. Sit down and talk to you and spend about an hour with you, and you can find out from me what's going on. A couple weeks ago, we had some people talk about chair volleyball and maybe doing some sort of program like that. So when I hear those type of things, maybe they don't know who the person is on our staff, who they need to talk to, so it gives them an opportunity for me to give that person's name to them so that maybe they can reach out and talk to them, or vice versa. Maybe I can go to my staff and talk to them about reaching out to the proper staff to talk to on those particular situations. But, I alluded to that we had it going on before. I had a couple of seniors and citizens come to me and say that they'd like to have it start again. So I started up again, and again, we meet once a month, different times in the morning to sit down and just have a little social time and find out what's going on, and it gives them an opportunity to find out from me what's going on with the recreation department.
Very good. Thank you for sharing that, Bob. Now I want to kind of switch gears a little bit here. It's our understanding, and we've talked a little bit, and I know you've talked with some staff members, you've picked up an interest in the sport of pickleball. So can you walk us through the sport of pickleball a little bit, and kind of what helped you gain your interest or your spark in playing pickleball? And we even have brought a pickleball paddle here for Bob to show us all about the pickleball paddle and what pickleball is.
Well, you kind of got me on the spot there. Basically, why I picked up pickleball is, as you well know, at least the staff knows, we've been working with the pickleball group for probably about 3 years now, but again, I kind of got more involved in it about a year ago, started meeting with the pickleball group, and I felt that for us to really know exactly how the program works, sometimes you have to go out and try it out, and see what it's all about, get involved so you can make educational decisions on it. And then this summer I was out playing some golf in my golf league, and I happened to be playing with one of my partners that doesn't work for the city, but I found out that they play pickleball on a weekly, daily type basis. And we started talking pickleball while we were golfing, and I told him some of the issues I was having, and he said, well, how about you come out and play with me, and maybe I can teach you the rules and you learn how to play the game. So that was probably about 4 months ago, and so I've been playing probably every single week, at least twice a week for 4 to 5 hours a week. And what I have found out that's interesting, it's a fun activity that gets you active, but the best part about pickleball, in my opinion, is the social aspect. I've probably have 30 new friends in the last 4 months that I've never met before, but I've been able to connect with them at the pickleball level, and then we have social gatherings where we go out and eat dinner together, or maybe go see movies, and it's kind of exciting to have that opportunity and meet new people and what they do, and so that's why I keep playing pickleball, and I'll probably keep it up now. So.
That's awesome, Bob. Glad to hear you're enjoying pickleball. Now, I have a tricky question here for you. I understand there's a rating system in pickleball, from 1 being a beginner player to 5 being an exceptional pickleball player. Where is your rating right now?
Well, that's an interesting question. So I can't answer that by saying, yeah, I'm a 3.5 or a 4.0 or whatever it may be, but just interesting. Last week I was out playing in a pickleball league, and it was kind of broke up, and there's 24 of us that were out there, and they said, well, let's break up. Let's have the beginners over here and the intermediate and advanced over here. And I was watching a lot of people play, and I could tell that they were pretty good. And so I turned to the guy that I know, and I said, I have no idea what my level is. And he kind of looked at me and paused. And I was like, oh, he's going to throw me at a beginner. And so he looked at me for a while, and he finally looked at me and said, I think you can play with the advanced group. And I went over and played with them, and I held my own. But there were definitely better players than I was. So, but I definitely had a lot more fun at the advanced level. So I don't know. According to that, I'd probably be about a 3.5 or 4. I don't know. That's what I'm saying.
Very good. So, I'm impressed.
Yeah.
Appreciate you sharing that with us. Well, that concludes all the questions we have for you today, Bob. I appreciate you joining us, but I'm going to ask you to stay up here with us as we get ready for a Q&A segment here on the show, just in case any questions are directed towards you.
Could I just add one thing, though?
Absolutely.
Just
go ahead.
because we did talk about the Recreator just a while ago, and Katie kind of talked about the the registration had just started taking place. I just want to remind everybody that's out there that registration for the general public started today for the winter recreator classes, so feel free to get your recreator and start signing up for those winter classes. I know it's been too nice outside, but hopefully it's starting to cool off and people can start coming in and take those classes.
Definitely. Thank you for sharing that, Bob.
You bet.
Thank you for being here with us.
Let's everybody give Bob a round of applause.
Thank you.
Okay, so the first question we have here that's been submitted is, how do I find transportation for seniors around town? Obviously, one of the quick and easy ways for us is we can have you go to the front desk here at our facility, and they can get you connected with the magazine that is given out to us from the Larimer County Office on Aging, and they'll be able to direct you through that magazine and get you connected with Larimer County, and you can find the appropriate means of transportation via that resource. Is there going to be a summer concert series in 2017? I am actually going to pass this one on to Ashley.
I'll take this one. So I get really excited about the summer concert series that we have here. It's a great opportunity because we do it out in our back patio here at the Fort Collins Senior Center. We can hold about 300 people back there. So it has in the past been very, very busy. I am still looking for some really good bands. I have a few in mind, but this is also an opportunity if you want to email me and if you know of great tribute bands, great bands that you think that would be amazing here for our public, I would be all ears. So yes, we look forward to seeing you all this summer.
Next question is the Senior Center for seniors only? Katie, I'm going to pass this on to you.
The answer is no, but I will expand. As I touched on earlier, we're definitely an 18 and older facility. I know that gets a little bit confusing, but it's a really interesting mix of sharing what the seniors have to offer, what young adults have to offer, and a lot of programming for each specific age group, but a lot of intermingling in those programs as well. There's many ways to come on in. There's fitness passes, social membership, and you can sign up for classes. So we are absolutely geared up to accommodate younger adults as well.
Very good. Thank you, Katie. Bob, we have a question here directed to you. Since your main office is downtown, how do you make time to get around to the other facilities, and how often do you get to each of these facilities?
Well, I basically try to plug it into my schedule to go around to each of the facilities, and one of the ways I do that is when I have my one-on-one staff meetings with my managers, I'll definitely go out to those facilities and spend some time out there. But then just in my calendar in general, I try to put some time to go to different facilities on a weekly basis and just spend a little bit more time out there. So that's how I do it.
Very good. Thank you, Bob. Next question is, how do I become a volunteer at the Senior Center? So one of the easy ways, obviously, to go about this is to head to our front desk, and at the front desk you can get a volunteer application, and then at that point the volunteer application is submitted to Betsy, our volunteer coordinator, and Betsy at that point is able to call the potential volunteer and then speak with them further about the opportunity and then see what kind of areas they might want to volunteer in. So if you're interested in becoming a volunteer here at the Senior Center, we're always looking for more. So please stop by the front desk and have a conversation with one of our clerical aides, and they'll be happy to help you down that pathway. Bob, it looks like we have a question here directed to you. What is the Health and Wellness Program?
So the Health and Wellness Program, I should have Aaron Harris come up here real quick, but it's a partnership with Columbine Health and UC Health, and they're based out of the Senior Center, and they run probably about 70 programs of health and wellness programs per quarter for all ages and ability, and again, it's a partnership with the City of Fort Collins, and all the programs are listed in the Recreator. So again, if you need any more information on that, grab your Recreator. Again, go to the front desk and ask questions, and then we have Diane Horak, who works for Columbine Health, and she is part of that partnership, and she offices out of the Senior Center. We are starting to expand that program as well to Foothills Activity Center and Northside, so you'll start seeing more programs at those facilities as well.
Very good. Thank you, Bob. Next question is, I hear you have a weight room here at the Senior Center. How is it maintained and cleaned?
That's very interesting. It's actually something we're pretty proud of. If you've been up there, you'll notice that it is very rare for something to be out of order for a very long time. We take special care to do preventative maintenance, obviously, but we also want to make sure that we're letting the community know that when something goes down. There's a sometimes misperception that something's been broken for a month and it's been about 2 days. So we always date those out of order signs. We also staff it, meaning it is not our forgotten little room up there. We do run staffing in there about 5 days a week. They do cleaning, simple maintenance, and they also do orientations to that facility. So it is a space that we're very proud of. And we also utilize the knowledge and care of the patrons who kind of take ownership in that space.
Very good. Thank you, Katie. So I have the final question here. It's the TV in the lounge is often a distraction. Can it be moved or regulated? So I will say the answer to that is, while we've been doing all of our front end adjustments with the lobby, the lounge, and obviously our check-in system, that is one of the items that we have talked about as a staff, and I can tell you that we are currently going through the process right now of figuring out how exactly do we monitor this TV. Obviously at times people will crank up the volume very loudly and it becomes difficult to hear at the front desk, or other guests that are in the facility playing cards at the tables there might not want the distraction of a loud TV. So that is certainly something that's been on our mind. And then obviously what's being watched on TV versus what others want to watch. So that is on our plate right now. That is something we are working our way through, and we'll continue to monitor that and make some adjustments from there. But I definitely appreciate all the questions today, and with that, that concludes our question segment. Ashley, I'm going to turn things back over to you.
All right. I just wanted to thank everyone again to coming to our second episode of Rec on Record. It's been a wonderful show today, and we hope to see you each month on the third Thursday of the month at 11 o'clock. We'd love to have you in our live studio audience, or you can look for us on FCTV. Until then, we'll see you next month.